Well, hello there, and welcome to the Mindset Alchemy podcast. I'm Janine, your host, and it's absolutely my delight and pleasure to have you join me today. The past few weeks, we've been exploring about heart-centeredness, about uniqueness, about beingness. And today I would like us to look at stillness. That going within ourselves and finding that pool of calm, of tranquility, of allowing, of just being. Janine, I can't sit still for a moment, and I just keep thinking, thinking, thinking. Well, Janine understands. Janine has been there. And I can tell you that very often it's a distraction from actually hearing what it is we are to do, be, and move forward with. And when we are prepared to work with the stillness and see the distraction for what it is, just ego playing games with us, that we are able to tap into our innate wisdom, our innate power, and a better way of doing things. I had somebody say to me the other day, I had spare time and I feel I should have worked harder and done more. And just listening to them, I became exhausted. Am I saying hard work is out of line? Absolutely not. What I'm saying is we may get to work with focused purpose and intensity when it feels hard, when it feels absolutely horrendous. We know we're out of alignment and it's time to stop, take a breath, and just go, what else is possible? And tap into that inner stillness and then go back to what we were doing. And what I have found in my life is it's as though all the pieces of the puzzle just come together and everything just unfolds because I took that moment to stop, to breathe, just to go into my heart, into my solar plexus, into my sacral area, and just allow myself that moment of stillness, that moment of connection, that moment of tapping back into that wonderful field of intention, back into the incredible energy of inspiration, and just allow myself to be supported by my soul team, my divine team, and to allow myself to be supported by my body and my soul, and to find a better, more expansive way of doing things. Now, yes, I do meditate, some mornings longer than others, and other days less time than others. I also do walking meditations where I allow nature to talk to me, to hold me, basically to support me. And in this, I find the stillness and answers and ways of being. So I have found that sometimes it's more effective for me to be walking and get into stillness, and other times it's best for me to sit down and get into stillness. I can also do it while I'm driving. I find that sometimes because my mind is focused, my brain is focused on having to drive, have the awareness of what the traffic is doing with me and around me, I'm much more able, because the mind is now distracted, I'm able to get into the heart and say, allow what is to come forward to come forward. Soul, show me what's required. I do that less often now because I drive, keep my driving to a minimum. And when I do drive, it's normally along open roads with nature supporting me. So it's very similar to walking. This stillness can happen in a crowd. This stillness can happen when you're speaking on a platform. It is an inner sense of being. It's an inner, like visualize a lake, calm and placid, and underneath it, there's all life teeming along, growing ecosystems. There's the current moving in and the river moving out. There's still that sense of stillness when you look at it. When I walk next to the bay, I will see the sea look still. Joke, it's very much moving. And then you'll notice the ripples as the tide either comes in or goes out. There are other days that it's really hectic and there's definitely very little stillness to it. And yet on the days that it has that calm sense of purpose, that is the stillness that I'm talking about, that I'm sharing with you, that I would like you to explore. Guided meditations are wonderful. Just saying a mantra or singing a song you enjoy. Sometimes just even dancing can bring you into that stillness because you become centered on the movement, on the music, and within you, everything else stills. That overthinking, that anxiety, that feeling of pressure, that taking on of other people's challenges stills within you. So there may be stillness amidst movement. My question is, where can you today, this week, going forward, take just 3 to 5 minutes to sit, be aware of your breathing. You can even just in and out as you breathe. Whatever it is, give yourself that moment of stillness throughout your day. For me, it can be as simple as standing still and just breathing, because this is where the better thinking feeling comes from. This is where that sense of release comes from. And we get the better answers that help us to create our story, create our vision and our dreams in a much more aligned way. It takes practice. Yes, it takes practice. Now, somebody said to me, it takes discipline. And I said to them, you know what? That's an interesting word. I would rather use the word focus because, yes, it is a form of discipline. Discipline comes from imposing limitations on oneself, imposing structures for oneself. So, yes, it is a form of discipline. And yet, when we rather focus on the stillness, and we have the discipline of doing it, they come together to work so that that focus can be more on the stillness and into an allowing of a state of being, a way of being, and of creating awareness that brings forward to us in a much deeper way the better way of moving forward, the better way of being in the present. Because remember, the present was pre-sent by the past or from your future. And when you get into that stillness in the moment, you are able to create in that moment in a much deeper way, so that when you are in the present of tomorrow, you actually created it in that moment of stillness, the next moment of stillness, so that when you take action, everything is in alignment. A very different way of looking at it, I agree. Personal leadership really is all part of this. So it's more leadership than discipline, because we lead ourselves to sit down. We lead ourselves into that area of stillness. And as we lead ourselves into it, we actually lead ourselves into our dreams and an actuality that we can enjoy rather than resent, because we present it and we are resending it and we resent that. And it allows that resentment to fade away, that resistance to just disappear. Because again, resistance is it's a stance we take. We take a stance against something or for something, and it allows for pressure and tension. In the stillness, we can recognize what we're doing, what we're resisting, and the reason. Get rid of it, clear it, release it, and let it go. This then allows us, again, to have more awareness, to understand better, and to connect with that beautiful and awesome, incredible consciousness that guides us into the better way of achieving our dreams. We literally are then allowing ourselves to be led by consciousness, by source energy, by our vision and our dreams into a better way of doing it. So as we sit there in the stillness, it's a form of leadership where we're leading ourselves forward in a much more aligned way and allowing the leadership of our dream, our vision, and source to come our way as well. Let me know your thoughts. Come and find me on social media, and I would love to discuss more about personal leadership with you that involves mindset alchemy, the mindset alchemy of knowing intuitively, choosing consciously, creating intentionally, and being effortlessly, It allows us to know who we are at a deeper and more accurate and authentic level as we create that vision, that dream, build resiliency, and master that wonderful art of endurance and of actual mastery of what are the skills required, the ways of being required in order to become our future self. What I love most about helping people with personal leadership is helping them to see their way forward in a much clearer way and to be able to create beyond the limits that are imposed on us by society, imposed on us by ourselves, imposed on us by our communities, and where we know we can create beyond them. We just require sometimes the vision, having had the time of stillness, and connecting with the consciousness as we create more awareness around it. Wow, what a mouthful. Let me know your thoughts, and I would love it if you could give me a 5-star rating and share this with somebody who may be having a challenge with knowing where they're going and would like to understand that through the stillness of either walking, sitting, and focusing, you can put music on, you have a better ability of connecting with it. People often say to me, yes, but my thoughts keep coming. Well, that's wonderful. Observe them rather than playing with them. Let them float away like the clouds that are in the sky. It's just, let it just drift past. Let it just allow it to just flow past and allow the stillness to help you connect at a deeper level. Have a beautiful day. Bye-bye.